What's up, guys? Had to get some paint. All right, so this is the job. All you're gonna see is a bunch of movement because it's white on white. I'm repainting white on top of white, but you can see there's little spots like right here, and they're like kind of flashing. That's because the walls are flat, but he touched it up with a semi-gloss. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but you can see it's not exactly the right color. So we got paint ceiling and all the walls. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the paint time lapse here. So pouring up the paint. I had to use 2 gallons for this. The paint was about 50 bucks. So I used 2 gallons of paint, and when I brush, I just brush out of the small can. I poured the majority of the can into the 5-gallon bucket. Which brings me to this. All the tools that I use for this job, I used 5 tools, and all these tools are under 5 bucks. If you don't really, so the extension pole that I use is a bit expensive, but you could use a broomstick for that. So I use a roller pad. I used a 3/4 inch nap, which you could use a 1/4 inch nap on this, just depending on the texture, you know. If you have a thick texture, you want to use a fatter nap. So I think I used a 3/4 inch nap on this. I used the roller, like the actual cage, the handle. Both of those things are under $10. I used the roller pole, but you know, you could totally use a broomstick for that. Also, what else did I use? I used a 5-gallon bucket, which you get about for $5, and I used a paintbrush. So 5 tools to get this job done. This is a cool job. This was a word of mouth job. I had done some work for this client previously, and they had called me back, which is great. This is the kind of work that I like to do. Reoccurring customers, which is probably 90% of my business, as I don't really advertise. You know, a lot of my jobs pretty much are word of mouth. So today this job was cool. It's kind of a last minute gig, and I just was able to squeeze it in. So here I'm doing the ceiling. You can see I threw some plastic on the wall and over that bookshelf because that was stuff that was staying in there. I did wrap off the floor, even though I didn't have to. I dropped down some canvas drops on the floor just to keep it clean, just out of habit, purely out of habit. And I had carried them upstairs anyway, so I went ahead and dropped them down. So something like this you could do by yourself, you know, and even though it's white on white, you still want to do 2 coats, because what happens is when you do the ceiling, you know, you bump the wall as you're doing the ceiling. Then you come back and you do the wall. Well, when you roll all the way up to the ceiling, the part where you bumped now has 2 coats on it. So what happens is you get like a line. You'll see a line going all the way around where you had 2 coats, if that makes any sense. So see how the line above my head, there's a line there from when I painted the ceiling. Now when I'm rolling up past that line, which technically means that there's 2 coats right there, and you can kind of see it. So I always, you know, put a second coat on. Just the second coat goes by so fast, especially if it's all nice and dry. So this is I guess you can kind of see. You can kind of see like changing colors there, especially right there. So anyways, like I said, it was a cheap job. Not a lot went into this job. I think it cost me about $12 in gas. No, not even 12 bucks. Yeah, there and back, 12 bucks. So 12 bucks gas. See, I got the fan going there, and this brings me to something I want to explain that I didn't understand for a long time. So if you are painting a project and you're concerned with the way that it's drying and you're trying to get it to dry fast, so you like turn on a heater or whatever, that's all good and great. But here's the thing. That's not what really makes the paint dry. The thing that makes the paint dry is circulation, air circulation. So you got the door open and cracked a little bit, and I do have that window open, even though it was so hot this day, and it was like a sauna in there. Especially once the paint starts drying and releasing humidity, it just gets super humid and hot, and you want to close the window, but I wanted it to dry fast. That way I can get the second coat on it. Okay guys, quick little job cleaning out the brush. If you're interested in any of the equipment, go ahead and check the descriptions below.